Hello again, this is Ed from Barnabas Robotics, and we are working on video number 2 of 3 of the Wheel of Fortune kit. So just as a recap, in video 1, we did the mechanical design of the Wheel of Fortune, we built everything as well, and then we learned about closed circuit to turn the wheel on. So let's turn it on. There we go. In this video, let me do an open circuit. There we go. In this video, what we want to do is we want to see what happens if we add 2 batteries to this. So right now we have 1 battery. What if we add 2 batteries to our Wheel of Fortune? What is going to happen? So let's go ahead and talk about that and learn about that. So on my whiteboard right now, you see that I have the closed circuit with 1 battery, right? And just as a recap, Mr. Electricity lives inside the battery here, and he only comes out if he has a path that goes out and also comes all the way back home. So let's kind of take what we learned to create a closed circuit but with 2 batteries. So let's move down here. Okay. Now, you may still have this sheet. You could probably draw, there's probably enough space on my top camera here. There's this number 4 box where it says extra drawing. You have space to draw what I'm going to draw there. You might need to draw it kind of small to get it to all work, but we should be able to fit it in there. So in this circuit we're going to draw, this path from Mr. Electricity, we're going to have 2 batteries. So let's go ahead and draw 2 batteries. 1 and 2. Alright, and let's take a look here. There should be a second battery in your kit, which I have here, and also a second battery house, which I'll take out as well. Okay, I'll move this to this side for now. So we have these things. And what we want to do is put in our pluses and minuses as well. And while we're at it, why don't we just go ahead and put this battery in. Alright, so same as last time, you get the battery, you find the minus of the battery, which is the flat part. You stick it under the little wing things here. Then you push until the spring keeps squishing down, and then it'll snap in. There. Alright. And it should be the red is plus, and the minus is black. Alright, so we got our second battery here. Good to go. Let's label our batteries. Let's call them B1 and B2. Good. And then we still have a motor, right? The motor being right here. We want to turn on the motor. And that also has a plus and a minus. Now, earlier I told you that you can actually connect the plus and the minus of the motor to either the plus or minus of the battery to make it spin different ways. For this circuit that I'm going to draw, though, let's make it so that red goes to red and black goes to black, okay? So we'll do the red wire. I'm going to connect to the first battery, so the plus of B1. And then the minus, we're going to try to go home to the minus of B2. Okay, so we're almost there. We have a path here, but you still see there's a gap, right? So there are 2 Mr. Electricities here. There's 1 in B1, and there's 1 in B2. And so what's actually going to happen when you have 2 batteries like this? We want to connect it so that you're sharing houses. So we got 2 houses now, right? 2 Mr. Electricities, 2 houses. They're going to say, you know what? Mr. Electricity in B1, he's like, Mr. Electricity in B2, you can come to my house, and then B2 is the same way. So they're just gonna like go through each other's houses in a loop, and it should be a lot of fun. So now for that to work, you need to connect the front door of B2, and I'm gonna use yellow color. The front door of B2 to the back door of B1. So now you have these two houses, B1 and B2, that are connected. And then if you're Mr. Electricity here or Mr. Electricity there, you see that there's a path. It goes through here, and it also goes through another house. That's fun. That means I can like go out of my house, hang out in the motor to bring it to life, and also even visit my friend's house on B2. And then also still be able to come back home to B1. And then same thing as Mr. Electricity down here. In order to come out, he first goes to Mr. Electricity B1's house, goes through it, and then through the motor, and then back home. So everyone's happy. Everyone can go out and come back in. The only difference here is that we've added another house. So even more fun, right? You have not only can you go out to play, you can also visit a friend's house. Okay, so that's cool. Now let's do a little bit of math. Let's dig a little deeper into this Mr. Electricity thing, okay? So Mr. Electricity turns on the motor. We know that. We experimented with that. Now there's also this idea that the more Mr. Electricity is, or stronger Mr. Electricity is, the faster the motor can go. So I'm bringing this up because you might think, okay, if I add 2 batteries into my circuit, what's going to happen to the motor? It's going to be faster or slower? It makes sense to me. Probably you already thought of it. It's going to go faster, right? Because it's like more energy. You have 2 batteries now, not just 1. But let's talk more about like the math behind that. So there's this word called volt. Okay, volt has to do with the power of the battery, or the speed of Mr. Electricity. Okay, so if you look at our battery here, let's look at this one here on my screen. Let me go large screen here. If you look at the battery, I want you to see if you can find the number of volts for one of these batteries. So what's the speed or the volt of Mr. Electricity for one battery? Oh, I think I found it. Okay, it says 1.5 V. 1.5 V. So let's say let's draw. Let me go to my whiteboard. Next to B1, let's say 1.5 V. Okay, so that means Mr. Electricity has 1.5 volts of power in one battery. But then if you have another battery, which is also, because it's the same battery, same type of battery, is also 1.5 V. And the way that we connected it, because the houses are connected to each other, this is called a series circuit. And so if you have room, you can write that in box number 3 right here. You should still have some room. You can write series circuit. So series circuit means, or series just means that you have things like multiple of them in a row. So think of it like Star Wars. We were playing with BB-8 earlier in the other video, right? So Star Wars has a bunch, it's a series. So it's a bunch of different movies. Harry Potter, also a series, a bunch of different books. So circuits the same way. So with a series circuit, it means that you have a bunch of things in a row. In this case, a bunch or 2 batteries in series. So we have a closed circuit series circuit here, closed and series circuit here. And when you do it like this, what happens is the voltage gets added together. So it's like, you know, like teamwork. You know, the 2 Mr. Electricity say, hey, I have a friend now. I can go even faster. I'm even stronger. So together, what's the total amount of volts that the battery sees? It used to be just 1.5 volts. It used to be just one battery and Mr. Electricity going, but with 2 Mr. Electricities, we have double that. So it's 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3 volts. Okay. So now we know the math behind why this motor is going to go faster. It's going to have twice the amount of voltage, means that Mr. Electricities are going to combine their powers and move twice as fast through the motor, and we should see it show up. Okay. So now that we know that, let's try to build this thing. Here we go. Okay, I got my whiteboard. Let me zoom in on my whiteboard a little bit here to my series circuit. Okay, that looks good to me. Okay, let me move that out of the way here. All right. So I have my batteries, and the first thing we want to do is probably just disconnect our wires so it doesn't get too confusing. Okay, so I'm gonna keep my motors right here. Okay, you can see that, and then my motor wires are right here. So I'm gonna put my little box to the side, but just so we don't get confused, so these two are my motor wires. Okay, black wire and red wire, my motor wires. Now let's take our batteries and match them up to what we have in our drawing. So this battery, okay, is going to be B1, and I'm going to kind of put it like this so it matches my drawing up on top right. So this is B1, and the plus is on top and the minus is on the bottom. Then this battery right here is my B2, okay, but I have it flipped because my minus is up here, so I'm actually going to flip this around so it's less confusing. Sticking it back in. Oh, that works. Okay, so then my B2 is here with the plus on top and the minus on bottom. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I need to connect the houses. I need to connect the plus of B2 to the minus of B1. Okay, notice the pluses and minuses. We got to be careful. If we get it wrong, it's not going to work. So the plus of B2, which is the red wire here, connects to the minus of B1, which is the black wire. Now these don't connect together. So how do we do that? Well, I gave you a hint. In my drawing, I use yellow as a color. If you look in this bag, you might find a yellow wire that has 2 spikes on it. These 2 spikes will allow us to make the connection. So I take this, and one side to the black wire, another side to the red wire. And once we've done that, what's left? We have to connect the plus of B1, which is this one, to the plus of the motor, right? The plus of B1 to the plus of the motor. And my motor wire, this is the motor wire here. There we go. And then the minus, this is my B2. The minus of B2 needs to go where? If you look at our chart, our diagram on the top right, the minus of B2 goes to the minus of the motor, which is, here's my motor. The minus is this black wire here. Let's not get confused. I'm doing it slowly so that we can all see. These go together, and then let's see what happens. Okay, it's going super fast. You can maybe hear it. It's dancing around. Okay, let me go on this view. Okay, so it's going super fast, and if you did it correctly, you'll also see it going super fast. You can actually feel wind. It's funny, that's what changes my voice when I talk about it. I don't know if you've ever done that before with a fan, but it actually changes your voice. It's going that fast as you're if you talk next to it. Cool. So we've built our series circuit, and now we have this hanging battery. We can just get another sticky foam, just like in that first video, and just stick it on there, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So let's first do an open circuit here. Okay. Very cool. And then we can get another sticky foam for this one. All right, and stick it on. Make it sticky by peeling off this little paper. And then let's put it like this. All right, looks pretty good to me. So I'm on the side. Now yours might be up here or behind. Someone actually in class asked if they could put it inside the box and then have the wire sticking out through like maybe a hole. You could drill a hole or something. That's a great idea too. Okay, so whatever works for you, it's your design. But once we have our 2 batteries on there, and then now we can just close circuit it. Beautiful. Here we go. Super powered robot here. All right, I think we're good to go. So that's in this lesson. Just as a recap, we learned about a series circuit. We learned about voltages. We learned that the one battery is 1.5 volts. So when we add 2 of them, it becomes 3 volts, which is mathematically why this becomes twice as fast when it's spinning. And I think I'm excited. All right, so we have that. That's it for this video. The next video, I'm going to show you how to add a button so that you can turn your robot off and on just by pressing a button. You won't have to like open and close the wires anymore. The button will actually make the open and close circuit. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next video.